So what's the Grape Explorer talking about today? Well, one of my favorite areas in France is the Rhone Valley. And the Rhone Valley, as we know, is quite unique to red wine. You're going to see mostly 80 to 90% of the wines that exist in the Rhone Valley are red, whether they be Châteauneuf-du-Pape or Northern Rhones like Côte-Rôtie. But this is an interesting area. So we brought today a Crozes Hermitage, but it's not a red, and it's actually white. And by the rules, it's Crozes Hermitage is an appellation, which exists. If I show you this map, we can see that Crozes Hermitage is right here, and it's right near the village of Thann, which is right on the River Vienne. So this River Vienne runs all the way up here, and it ends up coming all the way down here, and it ends up right into the Mediterranean. And basically, this is an interesting area because the vineyards were planted by the Romans, who were very keen on three different types of criteria of how they planted their grapes. First of all, they wanted an east-west exposure. So if you actually go to Hermitage, it's actually the hill of Hermitage. And you're looking down and you can actually see the town of Thann, and then you can actually see the river that flows right there. So they liked an east-west exposure. They also liked hills, so if it rained, the water would run down the hill. And of course, for transport, because once they were done with picking the grapes and making wine, they could actually transport down the river here, which again would run all the way to the Mediterranean. So that becomes a very famous place, which is called Hermitage. So if you look at Hermitage is the hill, but right to the right of Hermitage is called Crozes Hermitage. And again, about 80 to 90% of the wines that are made in this area are red wines. But the white wines that they do have here only exist of two grapes, and it's Marsanne and Rousanne. And this is an equal blend. So this is 50% Marsanne, 50% Rousanne. And those are the only two grapes that are allowed to be planted in Crozes Hermitage for white wine. And of course, the red wine is 100% Syrah. Cannot be any blend, cannot be Cabernet, cannot be Merlot. Has to be 100% Syrah, and then again, these wines, Marsanne and Rousanne. But if you look on this map, it tells you the beautiful geographical location. And at one time, Hermitage was considered the finest wine in all of France and the most expensive wines. Long before Bordeaux and Burgundy started to shine, this area became the most famous place. So again, this is from a producer, very small, Michelas St. Jemms. This located in Crozes Hermitage, and we wanted to highlight this wine because rarely do you see a white Hermitage on the retail shelves. But if you're looking for a unique white wine, and again, something that's very different from Chardonnay, very different from Sauvignon Blanc, but has its own unique expression. You get a lot of floral scents out of this wine. You get a lot of minerality. You get a lot of green apple and pear, beautiful fruits. This is a perfect wine with food, so I would even recommend having this wine with something like veal in like a morel sauce, or even chicken with any type of a sauce. Especially get the earthy mushroom in the sauce would actually pair very, very well with these wines. Again, this is a Grape Explorer. We're talking about grapes and we're talking about terrific wines. And if you like the content of our videos, please hit the subscribe button. If you have any questions, there's also comments on our video on YouTube, and we would appreciate hitting the like button. Again, this is the Grape Explorer talking about wine.